is official, and now we're officially starting. Okay, my name is Heshy Friedman, and this is the RBBN, the Rockland Business Breakfast Network. We have this is our first online event since June. We're going to be doing this hopefully monthly. The next one's going to be in October. I want to thank our Yitzi Pariser and Mickey Cohn for, these guys are the ones that get this all done and get this project taken care of. So thank you guys for getting this in the house and getting Scott Bliss. Scott, we're really looking forward to your presentation later. The format is basically everybody. We're going to introduce everybody who's in attendance here. They're going to say who they are, what they do, and then we'll literally about 10. We have I would say you have 10-15 seconds, tell you who you are, what you do, and the ideal client introduction you'd be looking for. So without further ado, let's call on our first member. I'm just using the list here from our from Zoom. It's not like I have any particular. I'm going to look through the sheet here. There's a sheet here, by the way, everybody. I'm going to share this again. Yitzi Pariser put together a spreadsheet of all attendees here. Please check the chat, copy that list, put it into your browser or click it, and you'll see everybody who's here or who registered, and fill out your information. Make sure anybody who attended can follow up and be in touch with you. Okay.
Actually, I would go with the Zoom list and not the spreadsheet because you have 15 people here and 44 signed up on the sheet. So,
okay, you're right. We're going to call on people who aren't here yet. And okay,
good idea. Everyone could please turn their cameras on so we could see you. I mean,
yes,
half the people are blacked out. That's not the point of the networking. Oh, there you go. Look at this.
Okay.
Nice.
Now we see everybody. Okay. Without further ado, okay. Rafi Salem. Rafi, turn your mic on and let us know all about you.
Thank you, Heshy. Thank you, everyone. I'm Rafi Salem, digital marketing since 1997. So I've been around for a while. Our main services are search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising, social media advertising, and reputation management. So I always ask the question, is Google hurting you or helping you? So everyone should Google themselves, Google their company names, and Google your keywords that you think you are. I'm seeking introductions to IT companies and MSPs. Thank you. Shana Tova, everyone.
Thank you, Rafi. All right, next we have Michael Monk. Michael, why don't you introduce yourself? You're on, Michael.
Next.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Okay, Ann Kleinman, all the way from, I don't know if you're in Florida now or back in the Holy Land.
We're in your
tell us where you are. Okay, wow, very nice.
Yeah, let's see.
There you are. Oh, I see your background with the stone.
Yeah, it's terrible lighting, which is why I turned off the video. Okay, this is our last day in this apartment, and then we're moving on. Anyway, I'm Ann Kleinman Yaroslavich. We do promotional products, which means that we help you find the perfect vehicle to communicate your message to your ideal customers and prospects. And we are currently looking for companies who have offices in the US, Europe, and Israel so that they can have a streamlined one-point ordering system and consistency across the countries to their brand.
Okay, thank you. Good to see. Nice background there.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. Next, we have Ann Zeilengold. Ann, welcome.
Good morning. I'm Ann Zeilengold. I'm with SM Home Loans, and I handle residential mortgages. So nice to be at the meeting. I wasn't able to make the in-person one, Scott Bliss, hopefully in the future. I do residential mortgages, helping people purchase and refinance, and that's what I do. And Zeilengold, Mortgage Matters.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have Ellie Garfinkel. Ellie, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Ellie Garfinkel from Lakewood. I sell insurance. I'm looking forward to speaking next time around. So stay tuned.
Okay, that was quick.
And also Adam Gusson is on the call. He's actually my my Rebbe, my teacher in sales. Mickey Cohn was in attendance when I spoke once, and Adam is the man to talk to.
Okay, well, let's call on Adam next. Adam, why don't you introduce yourself? Adam, are you there?
You're muted.
Adam, you're muted. Adam Gusson, you're muted. Okay, I guess we'll come back to him.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. There you are.
It's only been a year and a half of using Zoom meetings. I'm starting to figure this out. So my name's Adam Gusson. I've been in sales since I was 11 in my first paper route. Currently, I sell software as a service to niche insurance carriers for a company named Tinnaboo Square. And as Ellie mentioned, I have a few mentees around the world who are finding sales a little easier because we've had the opportunity to speak.
Okay. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the RBBN. Okay. Next, we have Mary Upton. Mary, welcome. It was good to see you on our networking hike last month. Welcome to our online Zoom meeting.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Mary Upton. I'm a behavioral financial advisor, and I help female professionals have a positive relationship with their finances. And I design personalized plans for successful but overwhelmed women as they so they feel confident planning for their financial future. And I'm looking to connect with social workers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mary. Okay, Mickey, you're here on time today. We got to give you a shout out. Again, Mickey Cohn really helped get this program put together. So why don't you tell us what you do and tell us a little about just getting this getting this show on the road here.
All right. You guys hear me?
Yep.
First of all, shout out to all those people behind scene. So that's why it's easier. I don't have to go through all the names. My name is Mickey Cohn. I call myself the phone guy because it's easy and simple. But typically what I do is I'm able to help companies with their phone systems, helping you strengthen your communications. There's a lot of cool technology out there that sells itself. So if you're a person that works at a company, I can help you. Reach out to me. I would love to have a chat, even if you're not the decision maker. My name is Mickey Cohn, the phone guy. Have an amazing, awesome day.
Thanks, Mickey. Okay. David Jassy. David, good to see you here. Welcome. And why don't you give us a little introduction?
Nice to see you, Heshy. Nice to see everyone. I have a video production company for 25 years. Our specialty is nonprofits, whether it's social media videos, virtual videos, banquet videos in the old days. We're quite good at that. Our background is broadcast TV. We have some broadcast clients editing some news shows as well, but pretty much anything video with a specialty in nonprofits.
Okay, good to see you again. Thank you. Okay, next we have Aaron Meze. Aaron, I think this is your first time here. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. So Aaron Meze, I started a business recently that sells retractable fire escape ladders that you mount to the side of your home. Nobody knows it exists, and it's there if anybody needs.
I see you're a Dad Shiner.
I'm that guy.
That's
Yeah,
you. Welcome to the group.
Welcome to the group. You had a very interesting product. I think, yeah, nobody really knew about it. Why don't you share some information on the, share like that video. I think you sent me a video or something on the chat here. I think it's very interesting for people to, and put it on the spreadsheet as well. Okay. You have the spreadsheet link?
I have the link. It doesn't seem to work for me for some reason.
All right, I guess we can touch base afterwards, see if we can give some tech support and get you working on that with that link. Okay, Nick, good to see you. Nick Davidson, welcome back.
Hi, that was quick. I just sat down.
That's it. We don't give you any
Get
catch-up
a few
time.
extra minutes. Good morning, everybody. Lovely to see some familiar faces. Nick Davidson, the Smart Solutions Group. We help small to mid-sized businesses scale, understand what are their obstacles to helping them accomplish what they would like to. We work in several different areas, be they processes, people, the financials, and the business development side of things, and not just helping develop strategies and ideas, but we stay involved to ensure implementation is followed through and you end up with a well-oiled machine.
Thank you, Nick. I like the office background. A nice, fresh, new office.
No, this is the old one.
It's the old one. Okay.
Yeah. We still haven't quite got to the new one yet.
Oh, okay. 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 Before we have our speaker and our sponsor and myself and Yitzi, is there anyone else who we missed? I think we got everybody except for those four that we just called out. And if anyone else is here that did not get a chance to introduce themselves, please do so right now. Otherwise, Yitzi, why don't you take it away about everything that you're doing now, everything going on.
Hey guys, just a
Okay.
short intro. My name is Eli Kreitel. I'm a commercial
Thank
real
you.
estate broker. No problem. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Yitzi. Thanks, Mickey. Thanks, Heshy. Appreciate it. I do commercial real estate, end users, investors, basically across the board.
Okay,
so
thanks.
much.
Welcome, and nice to see you. Okay. All right, Yitzi, take it away.
Okay, my name is Yitzi Pariser. I am one of the backbones here in this networking group, and we're going to go big and go during the next 12 months. Lots of cool events being planned. This time of year, though, I turn into my seasonal mode, selling lovin' and estrogen for circus. If you can see over here, I got a whole room full of estrogen that already been checked and priced. There's more coming today and tomorrow, and we go into retail mode already next Thursday on some Gedalia. So if you're a member of the tribe and need any lovin' and estrogen for circus, make sure you reach out to me today to we could get you what you need in time for Yontif, in time for circus.
I'm putting the link to Yitzi's website where you can buy online as well in the chat right now. So anybody can go copy that link and paste it in, and that's the place for your lovin' and estrogen. Okay, and as Yitzi said,
we're ship across the country.
Yeah. We're doing lots of stuff with the RBBN. This is obviously, we have the Zoom events, we have the in-person events, we have the breakfast, we have the barbecue. Yitzi, I, and Mickey are gonna. There's big stuff happening. Hopefully after the holidays, we're gonna have we have big things in the making here. So stay tuned. Okay, and for myself, I'm going to just give a quick introduction to myself. My name is Heshy Friedman. I run Radial Creations, www.radialcreations.com. We do professional website strategy, design, marketing, etc. And a good introduction is company that values a quality website that needs for their business to really properly represent them online. Heshy Friedman, Radial Creations. Now let's introduce our sponsor, Yaakov Farbowitz. Yaakov, thank you again for the sponsorship. We really appreciate it. Why don't you tell us about your catering business, and just give us a 3-minute just overview of what you do and what you're looking for in terms of business.
So first of all, thank you very much for having me, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Yitzi, to Heshy, and Mickey for this wonderful opportunity and for this wonderful program. And I want to give a shout out to Adam, a good friend of mine, Adam Gussim. Good to see you, and I'll see you around. Anyway, so the name of the company is called Out of the Box Catering. Why is it called Out of the Box Catering? The reason why is 2 reasons. First of all, pre-COVID, everything was done buffet, everything was done regularly. Then COVID came. Everything was done in boxes, separately, individual plan for each individual. Now we're continuing to allow to have stuff out of the box where we can go back to buffet or fully service plated meals. So that's how we came out with the name Out of the Box. The second reason why is because I want to take catering. We're taking catering above and beyond to the next level. We're thinking of ideas out of the box, how to be able to be creative and elegant, but at the same time be within the person's budget. We're customizing our menu towards the customer's needs and what they want. So my goal is to try to take the catering industry and bring it to the next level, and also to decorate it, not just to put the food out, but to decorate it as well also. Well, I started this company back in July 4th. Right now, we have a beautiful website. We're doing Yom Tovim orders as well also. The website is www.outoftheboxcateringnj.com. We have a beautiful office here in Hackensack, and we are here. What I'm looking for is people obviously making simchas, parties, any kind of an event. but also we're looking for corporate. So we're looking for offices who have events, or if they want lunches, we can do drop off, not a problem at all. You know, we're looking to really make a difference in the catering industry. So once again, it's outoftheboxcateringnj.com. Thank you very much for listening and have a great day.
Okay, thank you. Yaakov, why don't you share a link of your, why don't you share a link in the chat for everybody
Sure.
of the website?
Will do.
Okay.
This
And
is
by
a
the way,
power
we,
sponsor. This is a power sponsor. He's actually going to be sponsoring the next Zoom link virtual event October, at the end of October. So stay
okay,
tuned.
2 for 1.
For one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and guys, if anybody wants a sponsorship, you get to be on the you get to be on a promotional material. You get to be you get to get a spotlight at the event, whether it's in person, whether it's Zoom, and you know, you get your bang for your buck. So reach out to any one of us, myself, Yitzi, Mickey, for sponsorship opportunities, and you know, we're lining them up for each event.
This, by the way, the October 5th event in Norella is open for sponsorship. Yeah, October
Okay.
Zoom is taken, and in November.
I have another, somebody contact me for sponsorship. Yitzi, let's talk after. Mickey, let's talk after. We have a sponsorship. One
Sounds
second,
good.
Scott, before we start your introduction, your presentation, we actually have a few more people here that joined on, so let's give them an opportunity to introduce themselves as well. Michael Schlager, good to see you again. Why don't you give us a quick introduction?
I'm just trying to breathe. Just give me a second. I'm not as fast as you are.
Okay, let's see. There's you want us to come back to you?
Yeah, that'll be great.
Okay. Who else just joined? Josh Kaplinski. Hold on. Josh, welcome to the RBBN. Josh, why don't you give us an introduction?
Hey, Heshy, nice to meet you again. Josh here. I work at Fulfill Right. I'm involved in sales, dealing mainly with warm leads. I'm here to see what we have to offer and any tips that I can learn from anybody. Always looking to learn something new. So that's why we're here today.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for joining. Steve Schreiber.
Hi.
Thanks for joining. Welcome.
Thank you.
Like the background.
Good to see everybody again. Good morning. Steve Schreiber, Aquarius Partners. We focus on two things. We focus on customer impacting problems for small to medium-sized companies, which means anything from sales operations all the way through billing and collection. There are numerous pain points along the way that medium-sized companies have to deal with. They typically cannot afford a full-time person to focus on that. We come in, we figure out what the problems are, and we create actionable solutions. The other thing we do is operational benchmarking deployments for those companies. That's something that we put in place. It's a one-shot deal, but it continues on. The companies find it a great way of optimizing their operations and being successful in a matter of a few months. So happy to talk to anyone, always looking to help anyone who needs help, introductions or leads, or just making new connections. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Michael Schlager, you're ready now?
I'm just getting there. Just give me a minute. Sorry.
Okay, because I think is anyone else here that joined that didn't have a chance to introduce himself? Josh, now we get to see you in person. Now you got your camera on. All right, nice to see you. Okay, so and that's the case. We're gonna, before we get to our presentation from Scott, we're gonna do a virtual screenshot of everybody. Everybody, make sure your camera's on. Click on the view of gallery view. You get to see everybody there. Smile. We'll take a screenshot, and you can share that on social media. I'll share it on social media. Okay, so we can do a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Everybody smile. Okay, you can actually press the print screen button, and then you can paste that into like any program like Word or anything like that, or save it as a JPEG. Okay, so I got the screenshot. I'll share with everybody. And without further ado, let's put the speaker view on. Scott, take it away. Where everybody's very excited to hear your presentation, and we're looking forward to hearing what you got to share with us. So let's get rolling here.
Awesome. Thank you, Heshy. Just real quick, time check. How much time do I have?
Okay, so we typically we run the presentation for about 15-20 minutes, and then we take questions after. And then we'll go to the breakout rooms.
Got it. So I'm going to breeze through this, guys, and then I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. What I'm going to be presenting to you today is the 7 secrets of top performing sales professionals. If you've never heard of Sandler Training before, we are a professional development organization. We've been around for over 50 years. I'm a franchise owner in New Jersey. And right now I'm coming to you from a hotel room in Dallas, Texas, where I'm training a client for the next 2 days. So I'm glad that we found the time to get together to do this morning. Typically, one of the first questions I ask when I do a session like this is if you could answer the following question and put some of your answers in chat. I'm pretty good at sales, or my team is pretty good at sales. I only wish that we can get better at 1, 2, or 3 things. What are those 3 things that come to your mind that you would like to get some improvement on? And make it sales related. Don't put better leads from marketing or a better CRM. But if you put in chat, you know, if only I can get better at 1, 2, or 3 things, what are some of those things? The internal sale. Okay, Adam, thank you. Anybody else have anything you're putting in chat, something you want to improve on? I like to make sure I touch upon some of those certain things. Okay. Closing more deals, absolutely. I get that quite a bit. Closing. All right. Getting my message out to the right people. Objections, big one. Absolutely. Managing salespeople's performance. Absolutely. Okay. I'll make sure we touch on all these things. Turning a no into a yes. Okay. And that's a good one. And we'll certainly get to that as well. All right. So here's the thing, right? When salespeople sell, one of the problems that a lot of salespeople have is they're always trying to sell something. And you're probably saying, what, you're a sales trainer? Of course, that's our job, to sell something, right? But the goal is actually to have the mindset of uncovering needs and then matching what you have to satisfy their needs, right? So the typical salesperson is always going to try and sell their product or service versus going in and trying to understand what the prospect or customer is looking for, what they're interested in, and the salesperson typically does most of the talking. So we're gonna kind of talk about that a little bit today. I want you to look at the following slide, and I'm going to ask a couple of people. Mickey, what do you see when you look at this picture? What do you see?
A guy in a forest looking for a trail. I don't know.
Guy in a forest. Awesome. Josh, what do you see?
I see a puppy going through a snow path.
Okay. Awesome. Heshy, what do you see?
Okay, so I actually I thought it was myself hiking, you know, in the snow, but then I noticed that it's a puppy in the end. It looks like a man with a tail, and then you look closely, you'll see that it's actually a dog.
Yeah, it is actually a dog coming out of the snowy woods. But Mickey, I agree with you 100%. At first glance, you look at it and it looks like a man walking
like a
into
hiker, yeah.
snowy woods with a backpack on.
Yeah,
right?
barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, right. And the reason why I shared a slide and why I love this slide is because we all see different things from different viewpoints. One can argue that that's a man walking into the woods. Others can argue it's a dog coming out of the woods. So the way we apply this to sales is you have conflicting objectives. You have a salesperson who's trying to sell their product or service, and then you have a prospect who may or may not need that product or service, and the prospect doesn't necessarily care about what you're selling, right? He's trying to find information because he wants to solve his problem, right? So it's kind of conflicting agendas. All right, so let's talk about that in a minute. When we talk about sales-related issues, they typically fall in the 2 categories for salespeople. The technical category side of it, of any issues that may occur, is they just don't know what to do. A lot of salespeople aren't professionally trained. They have the gift of gab. Their parents were salespeople, and they feel like they build good relationships with people, and so they can sell things. But technically, they were never really taught to sell. It's all about relationships. Then you have the conceptual side of sales, where people know what to do, but they're really uncomfortable doing it. They're really uncomfortable talking about certain things, asking certain questions, talking about budget, talking about money. Can you afford this? Talking about, you know, decision-making process. So all the things that we're going to get into. So technical or conceptual are usually some of the, you know, the 2 main buckets that sales issues fall into. And here's the thing. We have a philosophy at Sandler. We believe that professional selling is a noble profession and deserves respect. And when you think about it, there's a lot of negative connotations associated with salespeople. When you look at Hollywood, when you look at movies, when you look at TV shows, you know, a lot of times salespeople are portrayed, you know, what, give me a negative connotation, Steve Schreiber, what's a negative connotation you hear associated with salespeople?
They don't listen.
They don't listen.
They're too busy talking. They're not listening to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Eli, what's another negative connotation associated with salespeople?
Like a used car salesman where you're ripping the guy off.
Yes, absolutely. We always have an agenda. We're here to sell you something that we have, and we're gonna shine it up. And I'll give you a great example. When I was in college, I was pre-med and I was going to med school, and my mother was all excited. She would tell all her friends at Marjan that, you know, Scott was going to medical school. And my senior year, I did a pre-medical internship, and I decided that I didn't want to go to med school. So my mother said, "What are you going to do?" I said, I was offered a job in pharmaceutical sales. And she said, "What? Sales? Right? No way." And, you know, those conversations started becoming, "Oh, how's Scott? How's he doing?" When I was in medical school or going to medical school, she would say, "Oh, he's doing great. He's getting ready for medical school." And then after I told her I wasn't going to medical school, the conversations were, "How's Scott? How's he doing?" "Oh, he's doing well. He's going into sales." You know, like she would talk about it like in a negative way. Jewish guilt. She would give me Jewish guilt, Jewish mother, right? And but you know, there's negative connotations associated with salespeople. And here's the thing. I know a lot of salespeople that make more money than doctors, than lawyers, than accountants, right? And there's a way to do it. There's a science to selling, right? And that's what we're going to discuss today. One of the biggest things that we take away from selling is that we have to have a mindset of what we call equal business stature. And many times in a selling environment, salespeople will put their prospect up here and themselves right below that prospect, right? And they do that. They acquiesce to their prospects' needs and their demands because they feel like if they don't, they're not going to have a chance to be successful in the sale. So what equal business stature is, it is a mindset where you as a salesperson need to see yourself as an equal in the relationship. And you have the right to have open and honest feedback and communication. You have the right to ask difficult questions, questions that make you uncomfortable. You have the right to ask in the right tonality, in the right communication voice, to ask about their budget. You know, can they afford your product? If they afford your solution? You have the right to ask them about their decision-making process. Who's involved? When is it going to be made? Why is it made that way? And there's certain things you have the right to do. Most salespeople are really uncomfortable doing that, and they don't do it. And they elevate their prospect and they become subservient to their prospect, right? You might be talking to somebody who's the CEO of their company, but guess what? You're the CEO of your territory. You are the CEO of your business that you run. Even if you're not, even if you're just a sales rep, consider yourself the CEO of your territory. You have rights to gather a certain amount of information that you need to see if a sales interaction is going to be successful or not. Well, I'm going to go over something that we call the typical seller order. All right, this is what happens in the traditional way that a lot of people sell. Right? They do a needs analysis, or really they generate interest. So they find, you know, Mickey's thinking, you guys all own businesses, you all have phones. Why not talk about voice over IP? You know, you have a need for it. You need phones for your business, right? And sometimes that's enough for Mickey to say, I want to have a conversation with you. I want to talk to you because you need phones, right? So that's his generating interest phase. And then typically he'll go in and talk to somebody and he'll talk about the phones, and then he'll present some type of proposal, whether it's a pricing, whether it's a demo, whether it's specs, how many phones you need, this is what you'll do, we'll do some type of service, right? And he goes right into kind of like that proposal mode, talking about his product or service. Then he's going to try and close. He's going to attempt to close. What do you think? Is this something you'd like to move forward with? Right. And typically when we try and close at that point in time, Mickey, what happens when we try and close at this point in time?
Well, it depends. Sometimes people are not honest. But if someone's being honest and they say, you know, I don't know, it looks like a great idea, let me get back to you.
Yeah.
So,
This is the part of the process where we get the comments, stalls, and objections. I need to think it over, need to talk to my boss, need to talk to my husband, need to talk to my wife, whatever it is you sell, right? We are trying to close business, and we really haven't yet fully understood the need for the business. We're going it based on, a generate interest perspective, and now we're stuck trying to handle those common stalls and objections, right? And typically they say, call me in 2 weeks. 2 weeks happen, you get their voicemail, you send them emails, nothing happens, you end up getting ghosted, right? And it happens all the time, right? Because the last thing here that we do is now we're stuck in follow-up mode, right? And here's a great piece of advice that I want you all to take to heart. I want you to remove the word just from your selling vocabulary. Just. And it sounds like this. It's a disease called justitis, right? And it goes like this. Hey, Adam, Scott with Sandler. I'm just checking in to see if you've made any decisions yet. Hey, Adam, Scott with Sandler. I just want to see if you've moved forward with the process or if you've set up those meetings with your back office folks, right? And then I'm sending the email. Hey, Adam, just checking in, right? Justitis. Remove the word just from your vocabulary. If you follow a good, strong selling process, you will eliminate so much in the way of follow-up because you're going to get dates to discuss follow-ups. You're going to get answers. You're going to give your prospects permission to tell you no, right? And I want to talk about why this is so dangerous here because here's the typical buyer order. Buyers, right, their job is to express interest. They might have a need for your product or service. They might have a need. So they know if they express interest to you and they act motivated like they're interested, right? What typically happens? Miri, what will typically happen if someone that might be interested in your product or service expresses interest and are acting really motivated to learn about it? What are they hoping that you're going to do?
Explain it to them and not tell them.
Yes. They want all your knowledge. They want as much knowledge that you're willing to give them, right? For free. For free. We have a term for that. It's called unpaid consulting. So many salespeople are unpaid consultants because they're sharing all their knowledge without getting paid for it, right? And that's what the buyers want. They want your knowledge. They want your information, and they're going to compare you to 2 or 3 other people, right? And then they're going to make some decisions, but they want your knowledge, right? Then they typically avoid commitment, and then they disappear on you, right? So we call this phenomenon, we call it the buyer-seller dance. And when you think about a dance, a ballroom dance, right? There's only one person that can lead that dance. That person who's leading the dance controls the tempo of the dance, controls where the area on the floor they cover. They control when you're lifted, when you're dipped, when you're twirled, right? If you have 2 people trying to control the dance, trying to lead the dance, it's not a dance. It's not graceful. It's a wrestling match is what it is. And most of the time today, if you were to really think about it and ask yourself this question, in all my prospecting interactions and all my selling interactions, who's in control, me or the prospect? And if you find yourself stuck in follow-up mode, and if you find yourself leaving meetings saying, you know what, I answered all their questions, I gave them all the information they wanted, but I don't have all the information I need. I don't really know how they make their decisions. I don't know who's involved. I don't know when they're going to make a decision. I don't know what their budget is. I don't even know if they can afford my solution. And if you leave a lot of your selling interactions thinking that, your prospect is in control, not you, right? So when the prospect is in control, right, you never have a real good understanding of what their needs are, right? You never have that real good understanding of what their needs are. You might think you do, but at the end of the day, when they're in control, you don't. Right. So when you think about it and you put it all together, right, this is how it cancels each other out, right? The buyer expresses interest. It coincides with the salesperson's needs analysis. They act motivated. We go right into presentation mode. They obtain all the information they want. We try and close them. They avoid commitment. We try and then handle the common stalls and objections. They disappear on us. We follow up. Right? AT&T, Sprint, all those guys, they didn't invent voicemail. Buyers did. Our prospects did because they're trying to avoid us and ghost us. Right? That's why they send us right to voicemail. All right, so we call this the buyer seller dance. And when you have the buyer seller dance, what typically happens, you have an educated buyer and a frustrated salesperson. All right, and then when you fall into their system, that happens all the time. And this happens because when a buyer expresses interest, salespeople get what we call happy ears. They think, I got one. This is awesome. They're interested. They're asking me great questions. They want me to educate them, right? Your boss says to you, hey, Mickey, how did that meeting go with Adam? And oh, it went great, man. I did a great job educating him. He asked me a bunch of questions. I gave him a proposal. We talked pricing. This is awesome. Great. When's he going to commit? Oh, he told me to follow up with him in about 2 weeks. Right. And then 2 weeks goes by and Mickey doesn't hear from Adam. Adam's avoiding his calls. Right. We get happy ears. And when we get happy ears, we stop our process. Right. Because we think there's a chance. Right. This is Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber. You're telling me there's a chance. Right. And salespeople are happy with just a chance. You don't have to be happy with just a chance. Right. Equal business stature enables you to eliminate free consulting, the opportunity to become unpaid consultants. Right. So with that, I am going to now tell you the 7 secrets of top performing salespeople. Secret number 1, top performing salespeople, part of building the relationship is bonding and rapport. The best salespeople out there form amazing relationships. They adapt to their prospects. And I'm not just talking about bonding and rapport. When I ask people what bonding and rapport means, people tell me, oh, talking about commonalities. I walk into their office and, I see they play golf. We talk about golf. I see the sailfish on the wall. We talk about the sailfish, right? We talk about fishing, right? I'm not talking about the commonalities that any other salesperson can do. I'm talking about deep psychological, behavioral techniques that you learn to really adapt to your prospect. We as salespeople get paid to adapt to our prospects. Prospects do not get paid to adapt to us. So we have to do things like matching and mirroring. We have to match and mirror their body language, their tonality, right? We have to match and mirror sometimes even along the way they, are they high talkers, low talkers, the way they're sitting. We have to make them feel comfortable with us because people buy from people that they like, that they trust, and that are like them. So the first thing, a part of building the relationship is forming that bond, that rapport. Right. The second thing also with forming that relationship is you have to establish the expectations, the agenda of what's going to occur. Right. Secret number 2 is what we call upfront contracts. An upfront contract is setting that expectation. This is what's going to happen, making sure each and every step has an outcome. Right. So I'll give you a quick example because I know, we got time here. If I'm sitting down to have a meeting with Yakov, say he has a sales team and he is interested in what I have to say and we set up a meeting, I'll say, okay, Yakov, look forward to meeting you Tuesday at 2:00. I'll come to your facility. Typically our meetings take about an hour. Are you okay with that amount of time? He'll say yes. I'll say, I'm going to have a lot of questions for you. I want to learn a little bit more about you and your sales team and what you've done, some of the troubles that you've been having. I know, Yakov, if you're going to have a lot of questions for me, you're going to want to learn a little bit more about us, how we might be able to help you, what our programs are about. You're certainly going to want to learn about the investment strategy behind it, right? How much it's going to be. And I'll answer all those questions for you. And at the end of our hour together, Yakov, I want to stop at the 55-minute mark. And I want to make sure you and I discuss next steps. All right, we'll take the last 5 minutes to talk about whether you're interested in moving forward or not moving forward. And if for any reason whatsoever you don't think we're a good fit for you, it's perfectly okay to tell us no. You will not hurt my feelings. Right? I'm setting that expectation that I expect at the end of our meeting that I'm going to get a yes or a no or a clear agenda of what's going to happen next. He might say, Scott, very interesting. I'm definitely very interested. I need to set up a meeting with my partner, our VP. Let's do that. And then boom, you set up that meeting right then and there. I'm going to say, Yakov, let's take out our calendars and set up that meeting. Because I find that if we're playing phone tag with each other or email tag, it's much easier. We're here together now. We have our calendars. Let's open up the calendars and set up that meeting. If they're not willing to set up that meeting, they're really not interested a lot of times. right? So this is all about building that relationship. Secret number 3, top performing salespeople are so much better at qualifying opportunities than your standard salespeople. If I were to ask you, Nick, what's easier, qualifying or closing? What do you think, Nick?
Qualifying.
Qualifying's easier?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Anybody disagree with that?
Yeah,
Tell me why, Adam.
very few people, me, sorry.
Yeah. Whoever said that, I don't care.
Very few people know what it means to qualify the client, because very few people understand how to fire a client, and they're not thinking about their own needs first to make sure they're walking into this and they're 100%.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. You know, if you qualify stringently, if you qualify the right way, the close is easy, because every step of the qualification process, you're trying to disqualify that prospect. You're trying to disqualify them. This is where you're asking great questions, right? Hard questions, uncomfortable questions, right? You're getting over that hump because you have that equal business stature. This is where you exert your equal business stature to say, I'm here really, you're saying to yourself, I'm here to disqualify you. I'm really here to try and figure out if you're worth my time, effort, and energy. Right? And that's what you're trying to do. So secret number 3, the first step in the qualification process is trying to identify the pain or the need. Why are they speaking to you? Mickey, why are they speaking to you if they already have phone service with a competitor of yours? Why are you there? Right? What's going on that they're willing to speak to you? Why would they be looking to consider a change? These are things you have to uncover. Right? And you got to go really deep into that. Go ahead. Someone was going to say something.
And I think it's important that you uncover it. I don't know if you always have to tell them that or if they're ready to hear it.
Well, people don't like talking about pain. That's just it.
Yeah.
Right. Most people, you have to pull it out of them. You almost have to sell like a doctor. When you go into your doctor's office because you hurt your shoulder, you're going to, you know, the doctor's going to walk in and he's going to see that the nurse wrote down on the chart, hurt shoulder. Right. So he knows that you're there for a hurt shoulder. So he comes in the room and he says, hey, tell me why you're here. Well, doc, I hurt my shoulder. Oh, he's going to ask you a bunch of questions to try to diagnose your pain. How'd you do it? How long ago did you do it? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're in like extreme pain, 5 being it's medium, you know, painful. What have you tried to do about it? Did you do ice? Did you do heat? Did you do Tylenol, any type of muscle relaxer? He's going to ask you a bunch of questions because he needs this information from you to be able to provide you with a treatment plan. Right. So he's got to really get deep into pain with you. And what we do at Sandler is we teach you how to get deep into pain.
Scott, I think one point here that's maybe helpful for a lot of people is understanding, going back to number 1 on your cycle here, is when we talk about bonding and building rapport, it's not the sales guy who delivers donuts and sends out holiday cards that thinks he's building trust and rapport. Real trust and rapport goes back to what you said about being peers or being on the same level. And so now when I get into understanding those pain points or uncovering those pain points, a lot of times it's the result of, hey, the buyer that I'm selling to made a previously bad decision. They might be embarrassed about describing why they made this mistake. Or they may feel threatened that this solution jeopardizes their job or colleagues' jobs. And so now we get to a point where, and we say pain, but it's really deeper and more meaningful, more visceral than that. It's fear, right? It's fear of past mistakes. It's fear of future missing out on opportunities. It's fear of losing a job or environment changing. Yes. And so the more we have the ability to develop true trust and respect in that rapport process, just like with my doctor, hey, I might not be comfortable talking to you about erectile dysfunction, but hey, my doctor, I'm going to talk to him about that.
Yep.
Right. Those personal, those difficult, those things that we might not tell anyone else, that we tell our doctor because we have that trust and respect. Yep. Because we value their opinion, we view them as expert, as a trusted advisor. And that's the goal of building rapport, is to be that trusted advisor, the one that people seek out for solutions. Now, when we start talking about the pain or the difficulties or the challenges, now I'm not dealing with someone who's trying to hide those shortcomings or mistakes. Sure. I have someone who's willingly dumping them on the table, said, hey, this is my mess. What do we do about it?
Well, you got to go deeper than that, right? Because when they tell you that they're having quality issues or delivery issues, that's not pain. That's indicative of a greater pain. What is it that those quality issues and those delivery issues are causing? And when you have those quality issues and those delivery issues, what does it mean for your organization, right? What happens, right? And then what happens to you if you don't fix this, right? If you don't get this fixed, right? Because now you're trying to find out how serious they are about fixing it. Because a lot of times fixing it is going to mean it's going to cost them more money up front, right? Because your product or service is probably going to be more expensive because the one they're currently using isn't working, right? So now we got to condition them, we can solve your problem, but it's probably going to cost you more money, right? Which is secret number 4. Once we really go deep into pain, we have a saying at Sandler, no pain, no sale. If you can't uncover pain, you're going to be floating in the wind. You have to go for pain. Right. And when you go for that pain, right, then you have to make sure after the best salespeople qualify hard, they really qualify stringently to qualify each and every prospect in or out of the sales funnel. And then they decide they're going to spend their time working on those opportunities that they have the best chance of closing. So once you uncover that pain, right, now you have to make sure that they can afford your solution, that you're not afraid to discuss money, that you're not afraid to discuss those budget parameters. And sometimes things you learned as a kid, you carry over now into your selling career. I remember when I was a kid growing up, I asked my father how much money he made per year. My mother threw her shoe at me. That's none of your business. You don't ask those questions, right? So people, believe it or not, they carry that over into their selling careers. My mother told me never to talk about money. I'm afraid to talk about money. I don't want to talk about money. Right? It's none of my business if they have the money, but the best salespeople have to find out, can you afford our solution? Are you willing and able to afford our solution? And this is where you have to really start getting comfortable being uncomfortable. So once you identify that pain, then you have to have starting those preliminary budget conversations. That's secret number 4, right? Secret number 5, decision-making process, right? You have to be clearly able to articulate how their decision-making process works. Right. And are you willing to partake in that decision-making process? Right. Are you willing to, yes, it takes time. We have to form a committee. Okay. Who's going to be part of that committee? When's the committee going to be formed? I need to talk to our VP. Awesome. When's that conversation going to happen? Does it make sense if I'm involved in that conversation? Right. What's your timeline? If all thing was a go, when's start date? I mean, you have to confirm all these things because then you're stuck in just-itis mode. Right. And getting ghosted. Right. So you have to be able to clearly articulate pain, budget, and decision. And once you're able to clearly articulate pain, budget, and decision, and they have a pain that you can solve within the discussed upon budget parameters, and you're fully aware of their decision-making process, that is a fully qualified opportunity. It's not easy to get that done, but that is an absolute sales funnel worthy opportunity. Goes right into the top of your funnel. Right? There's clear future commitments there, right? Of what's going to happen next, right? So those are the first 5 secrets of top performing salespeople. Secret number 6, closing the sale. We call this fulfillment step. This is where you do your demo. This is when you send your sample. This is when you send your pricing, your specs, right? Real quick, Mike Schlager, when in the beginning, I said in the traditional selling process, when was the presentation made? When was the proposal typically made? What step? Do you remember?
It's the upfront contract.
It was even before the upfront contract. It was step 2, right? It was step 2. They generated interest, presented proposal. Yeah, I might have a need for your phone systems. Great. Here's why we're so great. Here's this, here's that, blah, blah, blah. I'll send you a quote. We're presenting way too early there. We call that premature presentation, right? We're presenting way too early there. In the Sandler system, we're not presenting till step 6, because how do you know what to present? You have to understand their pain. You have to be that doctor, right? You have to really understand their pain and know that you have a solution for their pain, right? So the best salespeople sell like doctors. They find pain, they question for pain, right? And you can be taught how to do this. There's ways to go about doing this. And then so step 6, secret number 6, part of closing the sale, right, is we do our presentation that's going to solve their pain. This is what we're focused on. We're not selling features and benefits. We're not telling everybody why we're so great, why we're better than everybody else. You don't need to be better than everybody else. All you need to do is solve their pain better than anybody else.
So
Scott, doesn't matter if you've been in business 5 years or 20 years.
just to clarify, so number 2 is upfront contract is really talking to people about, here's what you can expect from me. Here's the process that we're going to go through. And these are steps that we need to sort of like, understand together, right? So fulfillment is really the point. Number 6 is really doing the contract, but upfront contract is not a contract at all. It's
Right.
understanding of what's to come.
Upfront contract is if you said to me, Scott, I'm interested in learning more about your program, right, for my sales team, and we book a meeting. My upfront contract is going to be, Mike, look forward to seeing you. We're going to meet for an hour. I'm going to answer all your questions. I'm going to have questions for you. I want to talk about your team, what you've been doing with them, where you'd like to see the greatest improvement. Have you done any other trainings in the past? But the best thing about the upfront contract is I'm going to let you know that at the end of our hour, you and I are going to sit down and decide together what happens next. And I'm essentially going to give you permission to tell me no. Mike, if for any reason whatsoever you don't think I'm a good fit for your organization, it's perfectly okay to tell me that. You will not hurt my feelings, right? Because I'm too busy to chase you. I will not fall for the give me a call in 2 weeks type thing. Typically when somebody says, send me information, send me a quote, I know a lot of times that's a blow off because they're being too nice. They don't want to hurt my feelings. So they're saying, they'd rather ghost me. They feel better at ghosting me versus telling me no to my face. I'm giving them permission to tell me no. If you don't think we're a good fit, it's perfectly 100% okay for you to tell me no.
Scott, if I could, I just want to jump in with one objection handling.
So, Adam, I just want to, for the sake of time, let's see if we can get to the 7th thing. We'll take a few questions after, as we want to get to the breakout room soon.
Yeah. So fulfillment means presentation. You're only presenting your solutions, right? And you can present later versus early. Again, when you present early, you don't have their full needs uncovered yet. You don't have pain, right? So you don't even really know what to present. You're presenting what you want to sell them, not what they want to buy. Prospects buy for their reasons, not the salesperson's reasons, right? So before you can present anything, you have to be fully cognizant of what it is they want, what they need. Then you present to that, right? Secret number 7, post-sell, right? Really important here, right? This is where you eliminate buyer's remorse. Sometimes if you're displacing an incumbent supplier, right? And let's say Mickey goes in there and says, hey, what happens on Monday when you call up ABC phone service and tell them you're canceling your contract? What if they, beg you to keep the business? What if they lower your price? What's going to happen there, right? And I want to know that if there's any chance whatsoever that they're going to stay with their incumbent, that means I didn't do a good enough job uncovering the pain, right? Because you want to prevent the loss of the sale, right? Post-sale is very hard for a lot of salespeople to do, right? And you don't need to do it every time. It just depends on when you're replacing the incumbent, right? So real quickly, positive results of the Sandler selling process. You get a yes, you get a no. A no is sometimes the second best thing you can hear on the sales call, a quick no. You learn a lesson, you save time, always ask for a referral. And the key, Michael, with the upfront contract is you always want to make sure you get a clear, well understood future. And the best salespeople overcome way more objections than everybody else. They push past 99% of those objections. They have prepared talk tracks for every objection that they're going to get. They know what to say to them. They know how to handle I need to talk to my VP. I need to do this. I need to do that. They deal with that up front and they push past those extra ones, right? And my last slide, the best salespeople didn't make more calls, didn't work more hours, they didn't read more books or know more hacks, they didn't know more about the product, they just mastered the basics. These 7 things right here are about mastering the basics. Don't waste your time trying to sell to everybody, right? And don't treat everybody the same, because that's where you build that bond, that rapport with your best prospects. So that's it right there. That's the 7 secrets.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Good stuff, Scott. I guess if we take a few questions here before we go, we'll try to keep them brief rather than a dialogue, because we want to get to the breakout rooms. So if anybody has any questions for Scott, now's a good time. And just keep in mind that everyone else, let other people also ask.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yes. Yeah. So I have a 6-figure Cornerstone client. I did the BNR, I did the UFC, got the pain down. The biggest thing is that they have a very hard time adapting to new information that I'm giving them. So you sometimes have to say it 3, 4, 5 times. The ideal situation is it comes back as their own idea. So it's almost like my hidden agenda becomes their common agenda. How do you overcome that step or get more patient with that step, because sometimes it takes several weeks. Sometimes they're past the time for it to happen. And then they come back and like, why didn't you push me further on this? And it's tough because they're at the point where they're overwhelmed. The decisions are sometimes too quick. They're almost backtracking. They haven't yet, but it's close to that. They'll be embarrassed to do that, but they're close to it. So,
Right.
I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, part of that is what we call active listening, right? And making sure that we're fully understanding their needs, and when we're explaining things back to them, we have to summarize and validate that they fully understand. And I can go so much more deeper into that versus, I know we're running out of time. I do have an answer for you, and I'd be happy to talk to you offline about that. Because there's so much information involved in that. But a lot of times too, they'll just shake their head and nod like they understand, and they don't want to let you know that they don't understand because they'll feel stupid, right? So there's ways that we can work with them on that. But definitely reach out to me offline. I'd be happy to answer that for you.
Right, Scott, why don't you post your LinkedIn or your contact info in the chat here? I'll also send it out to the group, and we'll post it on the email and the WhatsApp chat. That way they'll have your contact. They can connect you on LinkedIn, and it's just connect you in general and follow up. Also, if we're going to send this out as well, we're going to send a video of this presentation out. Scott, if you're okay making the presentation available, I can share it with our group as well, if you're comfortable with that.
Typically it's trademark material, so I'm not allowed to share the presentation. As far as the slides, sorry about that.
No problem. Okay. Any final questions?
Just a quick question. When dealing with a prospect who's looking to shop around, what can we do to stop them from shopping around? Close it faster, bring the, make them stop looking further.
Yeah, you want to be fully cognizant of, how many people they're going to talk to. And if they are getting 3 quotes, what are the most important attributes that they're looking for? Typically, when somebody is shop around and get 3 quotes, a lot of times it's because they're going to go with the cheapest provider. Don't just mind read and assume that. Ask them that. Okay, you get 3 quotes. Once you get those 3 quotes and you evaluate them, how are you going to make your decision on who you choose? And most of the time, they're going to choose the person that they're most comfortable with, that they trust the most, that they like better. And that comes in that bonding and rapport step. And a lot of times too, think about it, your own buying persona. Do you always buy the cheapest? No, I know I don't. Right? If I'm buying from a salesperson, I buy from the person that I feel like did a better job of helping me. And sometimes I'll pay more money for it. But you need to find out if they are shopping around, why, right? And then when they make their decision, what are the most important attributes that they're looking at to make? But that's why that bonding and rapport part is strong. And when you have a good process, it's all about differentiating yourself. If you're differentiating yourself, right? That's you don't want to be like every other salesperson who's trying to sell your product or service, right? So a good process is going to help you stand apart and differentiate yourself.
I have a question.
Sure.
So my question is, when I'm dealing with prospects, with clients, right? I want to know, maybe you can help me, like what percentage of a margin would you recommend for making a profit? Let's say when you want to make a sale, right? I was in sales for 10 years before I studied before the food industry. So like, do you want to what should be your aim when you're making the sale as far as a margin is concerned?
That's a pure business decision based on your costs. Right. And everything. So, I mean, that's again, depending on your market, your industry. I know you said catering, the food industry, but I'm not sure I'd be the right person to help you with that. I'm not really familiar with that industry.
All right. And everything you said is 100% correct. I've been in sales and I can tell you, I know I've heard all the rebuttals. I've heard I've heard it all.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
Scott,
I'm reading some of the yes.
I just want to say that I think it was fantastic. I think at least I enjoyed very much. It looked like everyone else did as well. Fabulous presentation. Scott is we'll follow up with Scott's information that everybody can get in touch with him and connect to him. And since we're out of time for the presentation, we're going to go straight to the breakout rooms. But Scott, again, fantastic job. Thank you so much for your time and for giving us all value. And that's what this is all about. That's what this group is all about. Just in closing here with everybody, before we get to the breakout rooms, make sure to connect with everyone here. That's really the key to making this successful. follow up with that sheet. I'm going to post one more link as well to that Google sheet. See anybody there that you can relate to, that you can connect to, that you can do business with, or give them a good referral or good lead. That's what this is all about. Check the chat now. Without further ado, Yitzi.
You send that to me privately.
Send it to everybody.
Please make sure to update your information on the sheet so everyone has it.
Yes, please update that information. And Yitzi, why don't you explain how the breakout rooms work? I'm gonna stop the recording.